Hi, so we're on to chapter 4, and this chapter deals with mass, temperature, and volume. Mass sometimes is thought of as weight. So let's look at 4.1, temperature conversions. If you're traveling to the US, you'll notice that there's a different temperature scale in use there. The US uses Fahrenheit scale, which is really part of the empirical system, whereas Canada uses the Celsius scale, or that's part of the international system called the SI system. The SI system uses 0 for the freezing of water and 100 for the boiling of water, whereas the imperial system, water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boils at 212 Fahrenheit. Often stoves, the ovens we use on cookers, will work in Fahrenheit, and if they're electronic they can actually change between both. Since water freezes at 0 C and 32 Fahrenheit, the relationship between the two temperature systems can be calculated, and here's some formulas to calculate from going from one to the other. If you're in Fahrenheit, you stick in your Fahrenheit value here, take away 32, and whatever your answer is, multiply by 5/9. That will give you C. However, if you're trying to convert to Fahrenheit and you have Celsius, you put your Celsius value in here, multiply it by 9/5, and then add 32. So these formulas are sort of the exact opposite of each other. I'm just going to go on to the next page here. So in example 1, saying here, while visiting Florida, Kathy heard a local person say that it had been very cold overnight and it was only 42 degrees. At first she thought this was not cold, but then she realized the person meant Fahrenheit. What is the temperature in degrees Celsius? So if we're going to use the formula, this is the formula here, we plug in for F the Fahrenheit 42. If we subtract, we get 10. Multiplying this together, it's really 10 times 5/9, so we get 50/9. And so if we want to leave it as a proper fraction, that would be 5 and 5/9. So it's roughly 5.5 degrees C. Converting this mixed numeral into a decimal, basically you are taking your 5 and dividing it by 9, you're getting 0.6. So it's actually close to 5.6. Okay, this page down. So if you can use those formulas to do the first 3 questions there, and you can do that in class tomorrow, unless you want to try one of them right now. Pause the video while you do that. Example 2. Sverre was paving the road with heated tar during a hot summer day. He noticed that the external temperature of the tar was 48 C. What is this in Fahrenheit? Okay, so we use the other formula in this case. F equals 9/5 times C plus 32. We're given the value of C, so we put it here. And so 48 times 9/5 means we now have 432/5, then adding the 32 as well. The fraction ends up being 86.4, and then we add 32. Basically, we're roughly at 118.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the other equation, and now you should be able to do the next 6 questions there. And I'd say you'd probably be able to convert these here. So let's see how many questions there are. There's a whole bunch up to question 8. So we should be able to do all this in one lesson before we go on to 4.2. So next day in class, you can complete section 4.1.